Welcome to the Offshore Club's fun-filled, fact-filled, fast-paced, blockbuster podcast, Coffee with Carib Carter, coming to you exclusively from where the sun never sets on the good life at a great price. And now, fill up your favorite coffee mug and join your expert and your guide, Carib Carter Clews.
Hello. This is Carib Carter Clews. Welcome to, there we go, Coffee with Carib Carter. Okay, welcome to episode, I think it's 84. The other day I got a call from one of the Offshore Club members saying, who was new, and he said, I watched, and he said, been watching for a couple of weeks, and suddenly I realized there are 80 of these things that I can go back and look at. So you might want to go back and review some of them. I'm not saying you have to do a deep dive at like a weekend marathon of Coffee with Carib Carter, but we are at 84, so that's a good thing. We've been together that long, and I think today we got a really great show, podcast, get together, whatever you want to call it. That you're going to absolutely enjoy. We're going to go to El Salvador for our $1,000 listing Caribbean. El Salvador is a coming country, folks. They cut the crime there by 75%. It's a little better than we've done in the U.S., where it's rising through the roof. The Bukele is a really good leader. He's a good leader. Bitcoin is legal tender there. It's a coming country. At best for those of you who are Fast Times at Ridgemont High. What the heck's the guy's name? Jeff. The Spagoli. You love to surf. Surfs up there. Best surfing in all of Central America, from what I'm told by surfers. So it's a coming country. Very low cost of living. Maybe the lowest cost of living, that in Nicaragua, Honduras, between the three of them in all of Central America. I'm going to talk more about that a little bit later. But we're going there. We're going to a place called Playas Los Cabanos. And I actually pronounced it right for a change. Playas Los Cabanos. I didn't pronounce it right. Cabanos. Nos, not Yos. Nos. Playa Los Cabanos. Gorgeous beach. It's a golden sand beach. Okay, I'm going to show you a real short video in a few minutes. You're going to say, wow, it is beautiful. It is beautiful. Take a look at home there. Let me just say, before I even get into it, this home I'm going to show you, it's not off the grid. It's not off the grid, okay? But yet it's not in a big community or a big residential resort community like Grand Pacific or Grand Bayman, those places that we all love. It's kind of like in a small little residential resort community on a gorgeous beach in a fishing community. I'm calling it like semi one-off. Okay. Sometimes we look at one-offs where I show you a home in a community. Sometimes we look at off the grid, where, remember the one on the, in Guatemala, I think it was, I showed you on the beautiful river, and really off the grid. And I know some of our Offshore Club members really are loners and like that, but this is kind of like a semi one-off. And if you are a very independent person, you're going to love this place. Okay. Enough. I'll let it go with that. Okay. I have an interview for you. This unique interview this time, because it's one I did earlier this week. I did it for another one of our podcasts. We do 5. Let me get the number up there. 5 a week at your Offshore Club. Every one of them, folks, is an outstanding podcast, all about different topics, different lifestyle viewpoints. Okay. And I did it with Joel Nagel. Joel is America's number one asset protection attorney. He is the offshore asset protection oracle. Okay. This guy's brilliant. His clients are multi-millionaires, the kind of people I can't even identify with. Okay. I hope some of you can. But he's brilliant. He's a genius at asset protection. And he has, in this interview that I did earlier this week, and we're going to watch, okay, I excerpted it from his overall show that I do with him. He's going to tell you, ready for this now? Get ready for this. How you can how you can, ready, not pay any taxes on the first $110,000 you earn. Let me repeat that because you're going to say, did I hear you right? Yes, you pay no income taxes, federal income taxes. Joe's going to tell you how in the first $110,000 you earn. You earn, okay? None. Say what, Carib Carter? You're going to say okay, because we're gonna look at that. Then I got a motivation minute for you with one of my favorite people. I just love the guy, Denzel Washington. I love his movies, and I find him personally very inspiring. I got about a 2-minute motivation video, about the gift of goals. You say, what's the gift of goals? You're going to say, okay, we're going to see that at the end of the show, right at the end when we say goodbye to each other in a little bit, okay? So a lot of really great stuff today. So let's get started on it, because before I get into the $1,000 listing, the interview, first I'm going to do the interview, then the $1,000 listing. Before I get into either one, I want to take a minute. It's very, very important to me that you all understand all of your opportunities offshore. Okay, all of your opportunities offshore. That's the whole reason for the Offshore Club. I get the blessing of helping, over about 150,000 Offshore Club members now, and other viewers who are not yet Offshore Club members, learn the great, incredible benefits and advantages you can have when you make your move offshore. Okay. And the other day, and that's the whole purpose. That's why I'm here. Okay. I'm here to help you do that. It's that simple. And that's a nice thing for me. Okay. It's very nice. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to. The other day I got a phone call from a boyhood friend. Okay. There were 4 of us. As you know, I was raised on the hard scrabble streets of Baltimore City. Okay. Back in the 60s. It was fantastic. Like, any of you ever seen the movie Bronx Tale? That's what it was like. Except I was in Baltimore, not New York. We didn't like New York when you're from Baltimore. But that's what it was like, and I had four good buddies that we roamed the streets together, the Avenue, 36th Street, all the whole area. Winky Dink, who just passed away not long ago, God rest his soul. The Fink was a friend of ours. We got a nickname because whenever we got caught doing something wrong, he always squealed on everybody else to bail himself out. I mean, we learned to live with it. Okay, well, you know what the Fink's going to do? Yeah, okay, that's it. And my other friend, whose name I'm not going to mention because he's the one that called me, and I always protect your privacy. When you call me, 202-664-6190, or text me. Okay, there you go. Just anytime. That's what I'm here for. Or write me at caribcarter7@gmail.com. Carib, there we go. Thank you, Gary. Our producer's incredible. He always gets these little things up. There we go. Right at the right time. Thank you. And so I got a call, from my friend. And he's living on Social Security now. And, before I get to that, let me show you something else about the text. I just got this text from an Offshore Club member. Just got it right before I came on. Just got it. I blacked out his name because I always protect your privacy. Let me read to you real quick. I'm going to get back to my boyhood buddy, and this is the important message for you. Hi, Carter. My week in Costa Rica and Nicaragua has been great. The people are incredible. I just love it. Sends me a picture of where he's staying there in Managua. He's going to make a move down. That's why he's down there. Okay. Incredible. An incredible guy. I love him. He's an incredible guy. Okay. So write to me. Send me your text. I love it. The more we talk, I think the happier we both are. So let's do that. Let's do this thing. What I always say, let's do this thing, right? So back to my boyhood buddy, not Winky Dink or the Fink, but the third one. And he raised on Social Security, and it's not a big check. And he was saying, I watch now. And he said, I know I got to make a move. He lives in Florida, and Florida is better than California, a hellhole, 16% taxes. But he said, I just can't afford it. He's over 70 now. And he said, sooner or later, more and more people are going to realize you can't afford to live in the United States anymore. It's just not affordable. for middle-class people. Folks, it's not. I'm telling you, it is not. It is not. Thank God this dear boy friend of mine now, I think I said, look, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go down. I want you to stay in one of my homes in Honduras for a month. For a month, just stay there. You don't worry about it. Because once you do that, you're going to say, everything you said is true. This really is the good life at a great price. Folks, let me get into it with you now because it's important. When you can live for a quarter of what you're paying to live now, that's great prices. You want to buy a home, it's a tenth of what you would pay up here. Okay? And you're living very well. You're living a nice, pleasant life, okay? Without all the divisiveness you have up here. Remember recently I showed you the article from Golden Visa website where they said the high net wealth people even are saying 300% increase just this year, and them saying, I want to get out of this place. I can't take the divisiveness anymore. I can't take how the constant high pressure and the rising crime. Folks, 12 American cities this past year set a record level of homicide. You don't have that south of the border. Nicaragua's crime rate is lower than the U.S. Okay? Much better life. Folks, you cannot afford to live in the United States anymore. If you're on an income of, less than $40,000 a year, obviously, you're going to live like a pauper. $40,000 a year. If you move down south of the border, let's put it this way. Let's take Honduras or Nicaragua or Salvador, where the average income is about $2,000 a year. I said a year. Did I say a year? I said a year. All right, now think about it. I want you to put this into perspective, okay? Let's say the average Social Security check is $2,000 a month. So you're making more in a month than they make in a year. Think of it this way. Think of whatever you're making right now. You're making 10 times as much as those people. Suppose you were making 10 times as much as the average income in the U.S. The median income is about $40,000. You'd be bringing in $400,000 a year. Well, that's the equivalent of how you're going to live when you make your move south of the border. Okay, because you're making more in a month than those people make in a year. You're making what the equivalent of $200,000 a year. And if you do the comparison, I'm not going to ride the math horse into the ground. You're essentially the 1%. Okay, you're essentially the 1%. And why not do that? Why not do that? I'm sure you saw the figures I did that just came out last week, that Americans now pay more in income taxes, personal taxes, than you do for food and clothing and housing and healthcare combined. And it's going further up. The Inflation Reduction Act, I'm sorry, I have to laugh when I say it, because they named it a lie. Okay? They named it a lie. The taxes increases in that. 67% of those in the middle income are going to pay and have a substantial increase in your taxes. Combine that with inflation. According to a study that just came out, I'm sure you saw it in the news because it was like, oh my God, the average American this year is going to pay $11,500 more just to get by than they did in 2020 when this guy took office because of inflation. And it's continuing to rise. They're not stopping it. The stock market, plunging because it's being mismanaged. Let me tell you something. Mark my words. The only reason the stock market has been as high as it is, you're going to say, Carter, are you sure? I'm not sure, but I think the Fed is operating a trading desk. I may be wrong, but I don't think so. Okay? And it can't keep doing that forever. Can't keep propping it up with its own trading desk forever. That's why when you see stocks starting to plunge and all of a sudden they bounce back up, who's buying those stocks? It ain't the people fleeing the market. So we've got we've got a serious problem that you shouldn't have to suffer for, and you don't have to suffer for. If you're at the end of it, I'm not going to go on here because otherwise we'll be here all day. I got to remember, I'm doing a 40-minute podcast, not a weekend marathon. Um, the if you know are in a situation where you're older on a fixed income, let's say your pension is 2,000, 3,000 a month. Think of how you can live. I just went into the figures. Okay. I just went into figures. Okay. They're absolute. They are true. Those are the figures. If you're at the other end, you're young, a millennial perhaps, or even younger now, and you can work remotely. Come on. You know, whatever you're making now, you can make, and you're sitting in I got my sweatshirt on now because it's cold outside. You're sitting in incoming winter weather here, chilly fall weather now. It's going to be winter soon. You could be in the sun, sand, and surf, making just as much as you're making now, but seeing it go 4 or 5 times as far. That's a pretty good life. That's a pretty good life. So I'm going to put that into perspective for you. How can I say this? I'm going to say it plainly. There is no drawback to making your move offshore. That's why we call it your plan B escape route. It's just not a matter of escaping. It's a matter of living better. That's why I have 2 homes in Honduras. My beach home at La Ceiba Beach Club, and my wife and I own a one-off in a beautiful little community called El Calan in Honduras. Okay. And eventually I'll live there full time, but we'll be down there hopefully part of this winter. So it's all there. Okay. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about from the heart. I'm telling you all the same things I told one of my best boyhood friends. Okay. One of my best boyhood friends. I'm telling you the same exact thing. I hope he does it. Just as the gentleman who just wrote to me, who's down there now, one of your fellow Offshore Club members, he says, yeah, it's time. And I'm hearing more and more of it. And thank God. I thank God for that. And I want to hear from you. Okay. So make that move. Like I always tell you, it's not the end of the show yet, but let's do this thing. All right. Now to help you once again understand how incredibly well you can live on whatever you're making. This really applies to those who are going to go down and work. Somebody my age who's going to get down and probably live on retirement, or in my case, I'd probably still do some freelance stuff. I'm a writer. I can do whatever I want from wherever I want. But particularly those who are younger, and not just millennials, but I'm talking to the parents, families. Your kids are going to have a better life. I swear to God, they are. You're not going to have to worry about the government mandating, as we have here, that your child's school allows old perverts in the little girl's room. That's been mandated now by our government. That ain't happening anywhere in Central America. I can guarantee you. As my wife would say, I've got my machete. My wife is from Honduras. I've got my machete. So that ain't happening. So your family can live better. And in terms of financials, let's look at an interview now where you're going to learn, and this is from the leading expert in the world. He has clients all over the world. How you cannot pay any federal income tax on your first $110,000 you make when you make that wonderful move offshore. Gary, let's roll this interview with Joel.
To the foreign tax credit of taxes paid, there's something called the foreign earned income exclusion, FEIE for short. And the foreign
FEIE. Let's repeat that because I want to make sure people understand it, because it's complex, but I think it's very important. Foreign earned income tax exclusion.
Right.
Okay. Good.
And
Thank you.
It's important that we break down all those words, because when people come to me and they're like, well, can I take it for this? Can I take it for that? I'm like, okay, let's go back to the word foreign earned income exclusion. Foreign. It's got to be foreign. You have to be outside the US. You have to be foreign. The income itself, believe it or not, does not have to be foreign. So if you have an employer or somebody who's willing to pay you from inside the US and you live outside the US, you can pass the hurdle of that first word, foreign. All right.
Okay.
So
all right.
And in this day and age where people can, people can work virtually, they can, log into their computer just like we are now. You're in the States, I'm in Belize. If I was getting paid to do this podcast, then I would meet the definition of foreign, right? Because I'm sitting here. I'm not in the US, right?
Okay.
That's foreign. The next one's earned. Well, what does earn mean? Earn means, hey, you're rolling up your sleeves, you're going to work, you're doing something. It doesn't matter what that something is. You could be an oil worker, you could be an attorney, you could be a sous chef. It doesn't matter. You have to be working, okay? As opposed to an investor, right? I get people that say, well, I have, $10 million invested in, this, that, or the other. Will this qualify? No, it doesn't qualify because it's not earned. Well, what about a pension? No, it doesn't qualify because it's not earned. What about Social Security? No, it doesn't qualify because it's not earned, right? So you have to make the money. You can't be getting it as a passive investor, right?
Not Social Security.
No.
Nuts.
Yeah. So you don't get any improvement from, a lot of people pay little or no taxes if that's their sole income. You would get a foreign tax credit if you paid any tax at all, but most countries exempt, retirement and pension income from foreign sources. Okay. So, like if you lived here in Belize, for example, where I am, you would not pay any Belize tax on your U.S. Social Security. Whether you paid U.S. tax would depend on how much you make and how much other assets you have and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, foreign, you got to be outside the country. Earned, you got to roll up your sleeves and do it. And, income, it has to be income to you. It can't be income to a company. It can't be income to your friend. It's income to you that you're reporting on your tax return. So, and then tax, meaning you calculate the whole tax, right? I made X number of dollars. I was abroad. I earned it abroad. Here's the tax rate based on that income. Here's the amount I owe, right? Here's the tax, that word. And then the last word, exclusion. So the tax code excludes income and tax due on that income right now up to about the first $110,000. Okay. Now, if you are, an oil worker making $110,000, you're very happy. You work in Nigeria, they're not paying you, and you're not paying any taxes there. You're not paying any taxes in the U.S. And so imagine that you would be making maybe 25, 30, 35% more bottom line because you don't have to pay tax. You have this exclusion amount. Now, if you're very wealthy and you earn, $10 million, that exclusion amount, that it's the same. So, so what happens is you calculate the tax, I owe X amount, then you have the exclusion on that 110. So it's like a minus, right? You calculated, hey, I made 110 or I made 80 or I made 30 million. It doesn't matter. In every single case, the amount you subtract is this $110,000 exclusion. If that brings you down to zero, then you owe no tax. By the way, that's per person. So if you're a married couple filing jointly, you get that twice.
Question is, can I get the foreign earned income, let me get it right, foreign earned income exclusion if I'm an individual, or do I have to be a business? Like Carter Clews working remotely in Honduras. Can I get it, or do I have to be Carter Clews Incorporated working remotely in Honduras? Business or person?
It's a great question. The exclusion amount is to the person, but there's definitely reasons why setting up a company makes sense, okay? Let's say you're getting a payment from a U.S. company. You might say, okay, I'm an independent contractor, or, I'm providing a service. I want that money to come to my own company, and then I want my own company to pay me, okay? You'll still get the exclusion at the individual level. You'd also get the deduction at the corporate level because your salary is an expense. So, guess what? I have clients who, they just happen to make $110,000 working for the company. Their wife makes $110,000. Their son makes $110,000. Their daughter makes $110,000. I mean, you can be creative as long as people are really there doing it and they're, they really meet all of the other criteria. If they're sitting up in, Pittsburgh or Cleveland and, holding down a job doing something else, don't try to apply for and take the foreign earned income exclusion, because, you get audited really fast. And again, the government a few times has tried to shut the foreign earned income exclusion down, but there's a big pushback, particularly because there are strategic industries. The oil industry is probably number one, where you have large volumes of people working all around the world. And for them to have to calculate and, there's already a huge inconvenience. They have to travel, be away from their families. And the idea of the foreign earned income exclusion, it's like a benefit for those people who really live and work abroad.
Wow. That's like a $30,000 to $40,000 savings for you by taking advantage of the earned income credit. Isn't Joel great? He makes everything so plain, even I can understand it. Okay, so I hope you got the message, folks. Yet another advantage of making that move. It's incredible. All right. So where are you going to move to? That's yours. Okay, Carter. So where am I going to move to? All right. Where are you going to move to? How about here? I found this home for you. Okay. I do one of the things I love every week. I spend, hours, sometimes 2 hours more, finding a great home value for you in Central or South America. Okay. Now, this is not from Vivian. A lot of times, as you know, I go to Vivian. I love Vivian. I encourage you to. VIVIUN.com. Okay. You type in the name of the country you want to look in the upper left-hand little box, and you're going to find incredible deals. But this one I found, looks like independent real estate firm to me. Okay, there's Vivian.com. Great place to look. Sometimes it's fun just to go through the homes. Sometimes I look in Reggio Calabria because that's where my mother was from, just to see if I can find some. I may buy something there someday. But this is an independent realtor, okay? And when I saw this, I said, I got to share this with the Offshore Club members, all right? This is in the name of the town I just gave to you, Playa Los Contanos, okay, in El Salvador. So let's take the long view now. You can see, I like this, 190,000. This home would cost you 4, 5, 6 times as much here. 190,000, negotiable. So negotiate. Okay, I'll offer 150, whatever. It's a beautiful home. Wait till I show it to you. Where is it? El Salvador. All right. I always like to take the long view for you. Okay. All right. See El Salvador there? El Salvador in Central America. All right. You got to make sure we're getting the right place here. Way up there in Central America. All right. El Salvador, right on the Pacific. See it there? Little yellow place. And where we're going specifically, let's take a little closer in. There's a Google map. See there? Right on the coast. It's the beach. This is the Golden Sand Beach in El Salvador. Okay. All right. It's about an hour and a half from San Salvador, the capital, by the way, just so you can position yourself. All right. Let's look at the home. It's a 4-bedroom, 3 bath. That's pretty nice, isn't it, folks? That's very, very nice. About 1,500 square feet. Here you go. Let's take a look at it. Got a pool. Got your own pool. Look at the picture window overlooking the pool. Don't you love that? This is good living. There's a view out the backyard. Well-built home, very well-built home in a little residential resort community. At the beach, on the beach. Playa Los Contanos. Get it right, Carib Carter. Cantanos. All right. That's your backyard, folks. Picture yourself there. That's yours. Okay. Well, you can go out and buy the small pool in the backyard. Okay. So they have groundskeepers at this little residential resort. You can see that. You might want to sit out on the patio. Okay. It's your patio with the built pavilion there, not just some tent thrown up. That's good wood. Look at it. Comes furnished, by the way, so all that is yours. Have your friends over. Have your friends over. You're going to find some other expats there in a place like this. You not only can find expats, but this place gets a lot of tourism. So there is a chance for cash flow there. If you decide you want to live there part-time or rent it part-time, you have a chance for cash flow at this kind of place because there is good tourism there. Check it out. Inside. Let's go inside. Oh, there's your living room. Look at that, sitting around, relaxing there. Very colorful, very pretty. Well done. Notice the tile floors here. There's your another view there. Your dining area, but they use it more as another sitting area, don't they? But you can use your dining area. That's what I'd use it for. Look how nicely appointed it is. They've taken good care of this place. I think it's only 5 years old. Okay, the breakfast nook. Here you go. There's your kitchen with the breakfast nook. This is a lovely, lovely home. Lovely home. So you go to the website. Go to this website. You're going to talk to Caroline R. It says, all right. Caroline R. All right. See it there? There you go. Gary's put up the short version for you. Okay. Makes it easy for you. Write it down. Just go there. Check it out yourself. Okay. It's right on the beach. And to show you how nice the beach is, let's take a look. This is a longer video, but I've asked Gary to cut out a section for us. Just about 2 minutes. It shows you, a little under 2 minutes, shows you how nice the beach is. Remember, this is a small community. This is not a big residential resort community. Small fishing villages, really where your little intact community is, where you're going to find that beautiful home. Okay, very, very nice. Again, as I said to you earlier, this is, I'm calling it a semi one-off because this is for somebody who's fairly independent. Okay, you go to somewhere like Grand Pacific in Nicaragua, the Mike Cobb community, all the amenities, everything you want, and you're going to be with a lot of expats there, right? Hundreds of homes. Grand Belize, Grand Bayman in Belize, same thing. This you're going to be, so you're going to have a lot of expats as soon as you move there. And all. This is an area for somebody who's not a loner, but pretty independent, okay? Kind of like I was when I made my move to Honduras about 12 years ago and bought in Little Vista Bonita, Honduras, which is another nice community, by the way, because I'm pretty independent, you know. I made friends with the locals. I'm in AA, so I went to AA meetings. Didn't understand a word they said, but obviously I knew what they meant. Don't drink, which I haven't done in over 20 years. So this is, if you're an independent type person who likes to live your own life, take your family with you, live their own lives, I think this may be something you want to check out. Okay, just check it out. Check it out, and remember, when you do, the cost of living is going to be about a quarter of what it is that you're paying now. Okay, your taxes essentially non-existent. Okay, all right. So there we got it. There we got it. And just to encourage you to go ahead and make the move, let's look at this quick video from Denzel Washington. I like the guy. I've always liked the guy, where he talks about the gift of the goal. The gift of the goal. Let's roll it.
Never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. So it's not how much you have, it's what you do with what you have. And we all have different gifts. Some money, some love, some patience, some the ability to touch people. But we all have it. Use it. Share it. That's what counts. Understand this also. You have these dreams, and as Kenny said, dreams without goals remain dreams, just dreams, and ultimately fuel disappointment. Dreams without goals, yearly goals, life goals, daily goals, monthly goals, hourly goals, minute by minute goals. Dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment. Goals on the road to achievement cannot be achieved without discipline and consistency. And we all have that unique gift to go out and touch people, to affect people. Understand that gift, protect that gift, appreciate that gift, utilize that gift, don't abuse that gift, treasure it. You have it. You already have it.
All right, there you have it. The gift of the goal. Set your goal. I know some of you are already dreaming of making a move south of the border, because I get your emails and your text messages, occasionally even phone calls, all of which I appreciate. So I know it's getting to be a dream for you. Don't just leave it at a dream. Make it a goal. Okay, that's your gift of a goal. Make it a goal, and then make it a reality. All right. And your Offshore Club is here to help you. So, as I tell you every week, thanks for joining us, and let's do this thing.